Okay, so good evening to everyone. Is my voice audible to all of you? Can you please confirm in the chat section? Okay, great. So today is the day two for this Android Study Jams, the new to programming track. We are going to deal with the day two session of this Android Study Jams. So let's start. Wait a second. Okay, so let's start this day two session. So for today's day two session, we are having some prerequisites that you should have along with you. So what we did yesterday was we have completed the pathways from 1 to 3, that was 1, 2, and 3, in the unit 1 of Android Study Jams. And in the Kotlin course, we have also discussed the basics of Kotlin. We have understood the syntax of Kotlin programming language. So that was done yesterday. Second important thing, you should have a computer that is like a pro for you. If you have computer, you can practice hands-on with also. And headphones are optional. You can have the next important thing is the internet connection, because if you are using the Android Studio, then internet connection is needed. So you should have a stable internet connection. And the fourth one is the optional, that is the optional thing, that you should have Android device and the USB cable. If like you can't run the emulator in your Android Studio, like if your PC's RAM size is not enough, so you can use the Android device and USB cable instead of emulator. Emulator, I have told yesterday what was the emulator. So emulator is the virtual Android device that we have discussed yesterday also. So these were the prerequisites for today's session. So let's move further. So first of all, we should recap from the last time what did we learn yesterday. So what we learned yesterday was like the basics of Kotlin programming language. We understood what is Kotlin programming language, how to write code in Kotlin programming language, and how should we write the syntax of Kotlin. All of this, we created one program yesterday that was like creating the birthday message and the birthday cake with the Kotlin programming language, and we understood the Kotlin. After that, we get to know about the Android Studio thing, like how it works, what its user interface, and how the things are like managed in Android Studio. We learned about the text views, the image views there, the buttons there, like how should we use that, because app yesterday also. It was the happy birthday card greeting app we created yesterday. So we use the text views, the image views in that app. So that was all from yesterday. So what we are gonna learn today is to create a dice roller app today. So dice roller app means like there will be a button in that app, and you have to click that. And the dice will roll according to that button. So we have recapped that what we have learned yesterday. So let's move further. So we have completed the three pathways yesterday, 1, 2, and 3. Now we will move to the fourth pathway of the first unit of a new to programming track, that is like adding a button to your Android app, that is in the dice roller app. So this is the fourth pathway of the first unit. So let's move further. So in this session, if you are creating the dice roller app for Android Studio and you're completing this track of this pathway, so you will be earning a badge of dice roller app in your Google developers profile. So like you should be enthusiastic about this, because this is a very interesting, interesting thing to develop an app like dice roller. It is like you can think of it like how it will look like and how you will interact with the app, because you will if you have Android Studio with you will be able to install your app in your physical device also. So can you confirm like how many of you have installed the Android Studio in your PCs? Because some of you guys haven't installed this yesterday. Okay, great. So whoever haven't installed the Android Studio, so he or she may have some problems to understand, because today we will have the coding part. We will write codes in the Android Studio. So that's why I told you yesterday to install Android Studio. So if you have, then it will be great for you guys. So let's move further. So so let's get into the concept overview. Uh, what we are going to design today is a dice roller app. So this is an activity that provides the window in which the app draws its UI. So today we will like in the Android Studio, we will design the app through like text views. We will add text views. This the app you are seeing in your screen, like there is an image of a dice, that is the image view, and a button of roll. So this is a button, it's called button, and a role is written in the button, that is the text view. So these all things we are going to design today. So your app will look like this, and whenever you click this roll button, the dice will roll, and at this moment we are getting 6, right? In your screen you are seeing that the dice is having the 6 number. So whenever you click roll, another number comes in the top of the dice, like 2 or 1, etc. And then after that you roll and roll again, likewise the number will come. So let's move further. So we will be first dealing with the classes and object instances, because we will be using classes and objects to develop this app. You must have heard, or you may not be have heard about classes and object, because it is a part of the object oriented programming language. So Kotlin is also object oriented programming language. I will tell you further in this session like what is class and what is object. So you can see in the screen, like a class is like a blueprint which contains instructions for how to create something. Means like a class is created in a program. Means like whenever you call that class from the object, like you first create the object of that class, and that you call the functions. Like there are also some function in that class. You call functions of that class to that object, and whatever the things are written in that functions in the class, the whole thing is executed through that object. I've told you like in the yesterday's session and how we create functions and all the stuffs related to functions. So like you must have noted down, so you can recall from that. So, and what is an object? An object instance is an actual dice that's created from the blueprint. It's like here we have the class, and the object here is the dice. We have the dice. Whenever we like roll the dice, we will create a roll function in that class, and we will whenever we call this dice object with the roll function, the dice will roll, and another dice will appear. Like whenever first is the one is printed top over the dice, and then whenever we click roll, then another type of dice, like 2 is written over the dice, it will appear in the screen. So we will learn further about classes and objects in this session only. So don't worry if you're not getting this now. So let's move further. So let's see this video, like how your app is will appear after we develop this. I've created one video for you. Like whenever you will click the button, the dice will roll, and an output will be generated. So this app will be like developed at the end of the session. So I think you must have seen this. Now let's move further. Okay. So let's get started. So first of all, we will get to know the basics of classes and inheritance, because we are going to use this class is an inheritance to build this app. So we will first discuss about this now. So yeah, so let me share the screen of that tab. So first of all, you should open this link. I will share this with you because it is a Kotlin playground. You should open this in your PCs to run this codes. I will share in the chat section. Open this Kotlin playground. It will, what it does, it just compiles the Kotlin code. So you just open this and write the code along with me so that you can understand better. Okay, so this app looks like this, the default thing. So have you guys opened this? Can you confirm in the chats? Which code should we write? You will write some code of Kotlin. I will tell you in the section only. Just wait for some time. Okay, so just like open this thing and we will start like coding the stuffs. So let's start. So I have told you yesterday that we have to create the main function first. So here also we will be creating our main function that we call it by fun is the keyword, and we will declare it the main function first. So let's do this one and then name along with brackets. So we have created this function. Now we will add the curly braces here to start writing our code. So first of all, understand this, like we have a dice and we have like 6 faced dice, right? So we have 6 probabilities, like 1 can come, 2 can come, like 3, 4, 5, 6 along. Any value can come. So we will create the number of faces of dice, that is 6, we will create first. And then we will create the roll function, because whenever we go to that function, the dice will roll and random number between 1 to 6 will be generated whenever we click the roll button. So we will create the roll function. So that the things we are creating now. So let's create the things first. So let's like I have taught you some like what is class and what are the objects here. So let's the other things in the main function we will write after creating the class. Okay, so first of all we will write the class. We will create one class and we will create one function inside that class, because class is the blueprint, right? We can access the object and the function through that class, and we can apply the things in the main function, because you have to call the function from the class through the objects of that class, because objects is the part of class, and we call functions through that objects from the class. Okay, so first of all we'll create a class called dice. Dice. Let's create one class, and we will give one argument later to this class dice app. So I'm not giving it now because you will not understand why I'm giving it. So I will give it later. So let's move further. I will write the curly braces here because we have to start writing code from here only. So let's create. So first of all, we will create the roll function here, because we have to roll the dice, right? So how we will create? We have to write the keyword fun, because inside that class only we are creating function, and whenever we are rolling the dice, we will call this function through this class from the main function that is written above the class. So first of all, we will create this function called roll. We'll give the brackets here, and then we'll give the this thing. Let's do this later. I will understand, make you understand later. So what we are doing here is like we will have to create one variable here, or we can directly use one keyword called return, because this function will return something. Na? So we want something from this function. So there is a keyword called return. Okay, so a keyword is return because whenever we call the function must return something, because what we will do in the main function, we will create one variable there, and we will create variable and then save the value that is returned from this function to that variable. Okay, so we should return something from this function. So whenever we roll the dice, something will return from the function, some number will be returned from this function and stored in that variable that we will create in the main function. Okay, so let's return something. What we will be return? We will be returning something from 1 to 6, because whenever this dice is rolled, we get a number from 1 to 6, right? So we have to return something from 1 to 6 range. So we will return something. We will write return here. Return. Sorry. And what we have to return? Some number between 1 to 6. So we will write the brackets, and what we want is some number between 1 to 6. So how we should write this? We have a convention, we have a syntax for writing this range. So we want number from 1 to 6, right? So we write 1 here. We will add 2 dots. We will write 6. So 1 dot 6 means this is a range of 1 to 6. It contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So we want 6. So like here we are having the 6 face dice. So if we write 6 here, so it will be only specific to 6 face dice. So we can't generate numbers from, like, if there are 7 possibilities, if there are 8 possibilities. So we just randomize this thing. Let's create a variable here called number of sides. So whenever, like, if there are 7 number of faces, so it can generate 7 random numbers. So if we write 6, it will be only applicable for 6 side dice. Okay, so we will not write 6 here. We will write the number of faces, like number of sides of dice, and we will assign that value 6 whenever we roll the dice. I will tell you later. So let's write here number of sides, called create a variable called number of sides. Here, so that's why I was telling in this class that we have given this thing number of sides. So we have to give argument in this class, because we are using this variable, but this class don't know what is this variable. So we have to give argument in this dice class, that we will be using this argument further in this code of class, the code of this class. So we will declare one argument num sides here, so that we can use in the return statement at the end. So we will declare one variable called val. Val is the keyword for declaring the variable, and then we will declare one variable called num sides. We are using in the return function. So we have declared it. And what type of variable is this? It is an integer type of variable. So we have different types of things in this any programming language. Like the one is the integer, the second one is the character type of variable, can have the character type of strings, integers, Boolean functions, the float numbers. Float numbers means like points, 2.5 things, 2.6. This is called float. So now we are only using the integer functions, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what type of variable is this? This is the integer type of variable. So we will add this thing int, so that it can know that it will get the integer value. So now we have given this return function, and then so it will return 1 to 6, 1 to number of sides range, between 1 to number of sides, which will be 6 here. I will declare it in the main function. So between 1 to 6, any number can be like generated. So we will randomize this number from 1 to 6 by adding one keyword, like any one function, you can say it, called random. So it will randomize the number between 1 to 6, and any number from 1 to 6 will be returned whenever this function roll will be called from the main function. Okay. So this function is returning an integer from 1 to 6. So we also have to write here what type of thing is this function is returning. So this function is returning the integer type of value. So we will write here int again, so that the class will know that the function is returning the int thing here. So we have like created the class, and what we should do now is to work on the main function so that we can call functions of this class from the main function. So now the class is created, we want to create objects of this class, because we can only call the functions of the class through the objects of that class. Okay, so whenever we call create the object, how should we create it? I will tell you here. Write it down. So like create one variable called, any variable you can create, like my first dice. First dice. We have created one variable called my first dice. Sorry, this should be space here. Okay. So this variable is an object because we will be like declaring this variable as an object, because we will be writing here equal to dice, and we want like 6 face dice. No? So we will write here, because in this class you can see we have given one argument called number of sides. So we want here, like we want 6 number of faces in our dice. So we will declare 6 here, and dice 6 initializes this first my first dice object. My first object will be created here if we write this type of code here, because they write dice here and dice is one class here. So my first dice object will be initiated here. Now we want to get the value of like what the roll will generate, what the roll function will generate. So we will store this value in a variable called dice roll. Let's write here dice. This dice roll will contain the value of what the number is generated through this function, because it will return something, and whatever it will return, it will be going to be stored in this variable called dice roll, because it will return something and we want something to store it. So it will return something and it will be stored in this variable called dice roll. So let's call this function first. So how do we call it? We have created one object called my first dice. It is the object of that dice. So it like connects with this class called dice, and through this object we will call this function called roll. Okay, so let's do this. Our object is my first dice. Now what function we are calling? It is called the roll function. So we will add a dot here and we will write this roll here. So that's how the function is called, and it will return this thing, any random number from 1 to number of sides. The number of sides we have given 6 here. So it will go through this argument, and this will be stored here. So in this return statement, and any number from 1 to number of sides, that is 6, 1 to 6 will be generated, and it will be returned, and it will be get stored in the dice roll object. Okay, so like let's do one thing now. Like we should print what is being generated there and what number we will get. So like let's move further here. So I have told you one print statement yesterday, that is println. So we will write this statement keyword called println, and we want something to like print whenever we run this function. So let's write something like that. We should write like dice rolled. What does the dice rolled? We want the number that is being generated after rolling the dice. So we want like if 6 is old, then we want 6, and if it is 5 years old, we want 5. So how we will get this number? The number is stored in this dice roll variable, right? So we want to access the number from this dice roll. So how do we access this variable? We will use this keyword called dollar. We call it here to access the variable, and then we will be writing uh, curly braces here, and what the variable is there, the dice roll is storing this thing. So we will write here the dice roll variable. So what will it will do, it will print the dice roll statement and along with what the number is stored in this variable. Okay, so let's run this code and see what the thing is done. Let's run this. Yeah, so you can see this, like the dice rolled 3. So the number that was being randomly collected through this 1, 2, 6 was 3. So if we again run this code, it will choose another random number from 6. So it is choosing 3 this time. So we will run again, and we can see like another number will be written here as the output. So you can see like the dice rolled 1. So any random number will be generated through this return statement, because we have added this keyword called random. So you can see here the dice rolled 1. So it is all over a random thing. It is not predictable. So the machine can generate any random number from the 1 to 6 range. So that's the uh, logic behind creating the dice. So that this code we will be using in the Android Studio. So we can run again this app to check one more time. So you can see like dice roll 2 here. So we can get any number from 1 to 6 range. So that was all about like the classes and objects in this Kotlin. So you must have understood it. So now what we will be doing is to like create the dice roller app. You have got this concept, you have understood this concept. Now what we will be doing is to like open the Android Studio here, and then we will be developing that app. Let's open it. It will take some time to open. Let's go to the doubt sections. Val means object. No, val means variable. Val is the keyword to declare the variable. Okay, it's not the object. Whatever we write after the val keyword, it will be the variable. It will be the object, because we have initiated this variable with the class. We are writing this dice thing. So this dice thing will initiate this dice class will initiate this object here. Okay. Yes, this is open. So first of all, we have to like just minimize this. Let's expand this. Okay. So now we will create one new project. Through this we have. I've also told you yesterday how to create. We'll go to new and we'll create new project here. We will go to this empty activity and then click next. We'll create one app called Dice Roller. We'll name it Dice Roller app. Okay, so and we are using the Kotlin programming language, so it is Kotlin selected, and the minimum Android version to support this app is the 4.4, that is the KitKat Android version. So that's not the case, because nowadays we are having the Android 9, Android 10, or Android 11. So let's finish this project. One new project will be created. Let's cut this old project. Now, yes. Okay. So I've told you one thing yesterday that the activity main XML file is the file that is used to design the UI of your app, and then the second file is the main activity.kt that stores the like the logic behind your app. So whatever like app is doing, we have to write the logic of that thing in this main activity.kt file. You can find all of these files in this Android section here. It is still opening. Let's open it before some time. And here you can see, like in the main activity file, there are three sections called code, split, and design. So let's open the code section. Design section is loading here. Files are also loading. So here we want to create one Dice Solar app. So let's I will see you the design thing. Shift this to split. Both the things will show at the same time. So yeah, so these things are getting loaded. So you can find this activity.main XML file in like app, and then we can go to this res file, and then we can go to the layout thing, and here you can find this activity main.xml file here, and we can find this main activity.kt file here in this Java, and here in this Dice Ruler app. Sorry, this the first one. com.example.diceruler app, and then this main activity file. This is here. Okay. So this activity underscore mail.xml designs the UI of your app, like the text views, the image views, that what we are gonna add in our UI. So this will be designed through this file, but the logic behind that thing, that rolling thing, and all of that will be written in this main activity file. So first of all, we will write the logic first. We'll write the backend part first. What will our code do? So let's move ahead. So we have studied the main function, right? So you will not see the main function here because it is replaced by onCreate function. It is the same function as the main function. It is called onCreate in Android Studio. So main function is here, the onCreate function. So we'll not write main function again because it does the same thing here. So don't worry if you are not getting the main function here. So first of all, we have to design. Oh, 1 second. Okay. So we have to this curly braces is here open and here it is ended. So what we are going to design is to, first of all, we will design the role button. Okay. So how we will design it? We will create one variable called through this keyword called val, and we will write role button. It will be the variable, and how this what kind of variable is this? This is a type of button. So in the Android Studio, I have already customizable. It is very user-friendly thing. So whenever you write this thing, a function will be generated called role button, and what it is determining and what it is showing, it is a button. It is a widget in the Android. So we have to declare this button by writing this. 1 second. Yeah, so we'll write this. It is loading, I guess. You will, whenever you click enter, it just write here in this code. So let's write it by manually write it. So we have created one variable called role button here. And what type of variable is this? It will show the button. So we have given this thing button. So what we want, the app will first find this button through a code called find view by ID, because every view have some ID, because every text view has an ID every image view has ID, every button has ID. So we want our app to first find this button where the button is located. So how it will find the button? Through the keyword called find view by ID. So we can see here it is the like keyword here, and how it will find, how the ID will generate it. We write it like this. We have R means the resource. R means resource. It will find the button resource. Button is a type of resource view. It is a type of resource. So how it will find the ID? It will find the ID from the R. It is called resource. We will add dot, and how we will write R dot ID dot button. So through this keyword and through this argument, it will find the button where the button is located there in the in your UI. So it will find the button there. Next, what we will be writing is we want to roll the button. First, we created the button, and now we want to roll the button. So when we click the button, so the button needs to do something. So the button needs to like hear the call. We have called the button. You click the button. Whenever we click the button, it will find the resource where the button is located, and the button has to do something at that time. So we have to create one something that will be executed when the button is clicked. So how we will create this? We have created the variable. So write this variable first. So the button will listen to the the commands that the user is giving. So that is listened through a function called the set on click listener. Whatever the user is doing, the roll button will listen this through this command. We call it set on click listener. And what we do here is to roll the dice. What it will listen, it will listen to the whatever the random number is generated through the when we roll the dice. Okay. So we will create one function called roll dice here. Right, like this. Okay. So roll dice is a function, but we haven't done anything with this function because we haven't write the we haven't written the code of this roll dice function. So how it will get executed? So we have to create one additional function called roll dice that we created earlier. So in that roll dice function, we will write all the code how the numbers will be generated. So we will do later in the below section. So let's write this thing. You can see that it is written in the red. So what we have to do is to create one function called roll dice. So how can we do that? We can go hover over this roll dice, and we can click on more actions and create a function. We will choose called roll dice, and a function will be created called roll dice here, and we have to write code here only of the roll dice thing, so that whenever we call this function, all the lines of code here will be executed and the output will be generated. Okay, we will do this later in the section. Okay, so let's write the code of this thing. Okay, so let's remove this. So we want to create the variable called dice and object, and whatever we have done in the that section of the code in the Kotlin playground. So first of all, you have to create class that we have also created earlier in the session. So whatever we create in the class, that thing is called in the function called roll dice. Okay, first create the class. I request whoever's mic is open, please mute it. Okay. So we will create a function class called dice. We have also created it earlier, so let's write it faster. We create the function called dice, and that's class dice, and we will give variable argument called number, and what it will return, it will return the integer. So it is a type of integer value. So we'll write like this. It will return the integer value. So it is a type of integer value. So we are writing it as integer, and then we will write. We have to create one function inside it called the roll function that we are like also created earlier. So let's create this function rol, and then giving the braces. And what this function will return, it will return the integer value. So we'll write this as int. So we have done all this thing earlier, no? So you should understand it more easily. I'm doing this second time. So let's create this function again. And what it was returning, it was returning one random number from 1 to number of sites. That was 6 earlier. So 1 got the number of sites, and it was randomizing this thing and to the random function called okay. So you have seen this. We have created the class here that we have also created earlier. So I guess it is shown as right, but it will compile it later when we run the code. So okay, so now we will create the main function. Sorry, the roll dice function. Whenever we will be calling this roll dice, the roll dice will be rolled and some output will be generated. So first of all, what we want some objects of this class. So let's write this thing here. We'll create one object called dice. I guess someone's mic is open. Please mute yourself. Vinay Shakya, your mic is open. Please mute yourself. Okay, great. So now what we'll be doing is to create one object called dice. Okay. And we will declare it to the class that we have also done earlier. And we want 6 faces, so we will write here 6. It will automatically detect that number of sites is 6. So okay, so let's move further. Now what we have to do is to roll the dice. We have created the dice object. Now we want to roll the dice. We have created this roll function. So we will now create the roll dice roll variable. We also created it earlier. So we will create this dice roll. Now what we want is to roll the dice. So we will call the dice object that we created here, and we'll call the function, because this dice is a part, this is the object of this class. No? So this object can call this roll function because this function is the part of this dice class only. Okay, so we'll call this roll function through a dot thing, and we will call the roll function. It is already here. So we're calling this roll function. Now we have called the roll function. It has roll. It will generate some like output. Okay, so as an output we want the image. We are not like generating the numbers in the app. We are generating images in the app. Okay, so we have to write something for the image also. No? The image will be there in the app, and it will adjust according to the number whatever is generated to the roll function. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to create one object called dice, sorry, the variable called dice image. So let's create it. This dice image is related to what kind of image will be generated when we click on the roll button, because there are 6 type of images, right? The because one image for like one output, 2 images for when 2 number is generated. According to this 6 images we are having, I will show you later in the session how these images are gonna upload in this app. So let's create it first. So first of all, you create the dice image variable, and this dice image is a type of image view, no? Because it is a type of image. So we will write here that as image view. We can write it to this image view. It is a type of image view. So now image view type of view is created. So then how the app will find this image view? You have to create one ID, no? So through that ID, the image view will be find whenever the object user will click the role function. Okay, so this app will find the image view through an ID and through one function called find view my ID. Okay, so we will create find view my ID here, and it will be written because it is Android Studio, so it is very user friendly. So you can easily write your code. So now write the ID of this. You can extract this ID from r.id.imageview. So that was all, and now the app has found the like image ID. Now we want that image to do something when the app to do something whenever that image is found. Like 2 is generated, then we want image to give output as 2. So we have to do something for that also. So like when 1 is rolled, we want that 1 should appear on the top of the dice. So one image should appear that has 1 on the top of the dice. So let's create something for that also. So let's create another variable called drawable resource. So we will create this variable drawable. We have created this this variable created this variable drawable resource. So what is drawable resource? Drawable resources are the images and what the things can be like inserted in the app in the form of images that are called the drawable resource. We will import the dice images later in the session. So let's create the variable first. So what this variable will get is like whenever the dice will roll, we have a keyword called when. So when the dice will roll, we have created one uh, like a function called dice roll, dice dot roll. That whatever the output the dice dot roll will generate, it will be stored in dice roll variable. So whatever this dice will be there, it will work according to that. No? So we will be creating this like if and else type thing. So let's see this. When dice roll, like whenever is there is a 5 output, whenever there is a 6 output, what it will does, what it will do, like let's see this. So okay, so when like 5 is generated, it will the image of 5 on top will be shown. According to that, all the things will be done. So like what when 1 will be created, what it will do, it will show the dice of 1. Okay, so how we write the when function, I will show you. We'll write when and we add something in the brackets, and we write the possibilities in the executable codes. Okay, so when 1 is created, what we will it will show, it will show the drawable resource called that we are going to upload here. Okay, so let's upload the dice images first so that you can clearly view that. How should we how are we gonna upload this? So we will go here, and then we have to add the drawable resource, right? So go to here, and we should be upload this. Let's see, let me see this. Let me check this where it is. Yeah. So this is the drawable resource here, and we have to like add the dice images here. So like we should go to this plus button, and then we have to import some drawables. So how we will upload this? Import drawable files here, and then we have to upload the dice images. I have some dice images already in my desktop. So there is a file called dice images. Let's find this. Yeah, here it is. I will upload all the 6 files. So these are the images that we are gonna upload, and we will click on next. All the 6 images will be created, and we will import all the 6 images here. And all the 6 images are imported here. So it will be there in our main file also. So we can import this in through our code. So let's go through this main activity files. Okay. So when one is created, like we have seen in the resource manager, the dice one, that is called the name of the picture, that is image. So dice one image should be there in our app. So when two is generated, dice two image should be there in the app, and dice three, dice will generate three. So this third image will be should be there in the app. So we should do according to that only. Okay. So let's write code for that. So like whenever there is one is generated, so we want to have the one number of dice in the app. So how we should import this? We should import this through resources called R will detect the resources. Then the type of resource is called drawable. Drawable. And what is the drawable resource name? That was the dice underscore one. So you have seen in this drawable thing, you can see here, we have 6 type of images. So the first image was dice underscore one. So we have extracted this image through this r.drawable.dice one. So same for the two. The two is generated, and then we will get the two as an output. On the drawable, and then dice underscore two. Okay. Now we want three. We'll write according to that. Three. Same for the four also. We'll get four here. For the five also, we will write the code. Dice five is not there. So dice. Okay, it is not detecting now. No problem, we'll detect later. Same for the sixth one also. So we have imported all the type of images that we should show. So here you can write 6 also, or you can write else statement also if the image is not 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5. If it is not 10, then if 6 is generated, you need not to write 6. You can also write else, because if not, if the top 5 is not there, then it will be definitely be 6. Okay, so we can write else also here. So that's the case. So we have imported the all the type of images that are going to be seen uh, after creating the app. So now we want, whenever we click the role, we want that the image to listen what the random number is generated, because we have imported the image files, but we haven't created anything like what the image should look like. Like it will listen to the number generated, and it will show the image according to that number only. Okay. So first of all, which we should do here, we should write one line of code here called. We should first find the image view that is stored in the dice image. We have we have found that image view. Now we want to set this image according to the random number generated. So what we have to write here, set image resource. It will set the image resource according to that random output generated. Okay, so we will add this function also. You can see in the Android Studio. So now what we want, that the the output is stored in this drawable resource, right? Because when dice roll is 1, the dice 1 drawable resource will be there. So we will write this drawable resource variable under this. So it will set the image resource to this drawable resource thing. Okay, so we will write this in the brackets. It's already there, so we can write this only. So now what we want, that I have also told you yesterday that it has some content description. So we can write this content description also of that image. So how should we write this? We'll write the first image resource here, and we want some content description here. Content description. So this content description should be in the string. Okay, so we have to convert this content description to the string. So how should we convert this? We convert this like dice roll dot to string. This content description means like what that image is all about. It will be converted to the string format. So that's what we have done here. So we have written all the code here. So now we all want is to roll the dice, because we have rolled the dice here, and this set on click listener listen to the roll dice thing and get some output on the roll button. Okay, so now we want to roll the dice, so we have to write one more roll dice thing here, so that it will roll the dice, and whenever the roll button will be called, all these type of functions will be called, and the output will be generated according to that only. Okay, so we will write a roll dice function again here. So we have created all the backend part here. So you can see once more. I will hold for some time what the code is all about. You can see for some time. And for queries, I will definitely be answering you at the end of the session. So you can hold for that. It is red. So what is there? Oh, sorry. This image view. Still red. So I guess all of you have seen this, how it is done. Now we want to create the layout of our app. Okay, so how we would create it, let's see this. I've also told this, we create the layout and the UI design through this activity underscore main XML file. So we will do all the coding here on for generating the UI of our app. So how we will do that, let's see that. So first of all, we want to create one button. This this default code you will find already when you will open app. This is already there, so don't worry if you don't understand. this. The first
I think sir have some network issue. Sir will be back. Okay, please wait for some time.
my like internet connection got unstabilized, so I wasn't there. So can you confirm like where didn't you listen, from where I have to start? Please write in the chat section like where uh, I was like out from the meeting. Okay. I will make you understand again about the main activity .xml file. So activity XML file. So what we have done here, we have created one button and we have given the ID of that button because the Android app finds the button through that ID only. We have given the layout width as the wrap content. Okay, my screen is not visible. Okay, so you can find here like button is written because button is a type of view. So we have created one button and we have given one ID because the Android finds that ID through this ID only. It is called the resource ID. Then we have created the layout width, how much width the button should have. It is according to the wrap content. Wrap content is the thing whatever is the size of the text inside, and it will be according to that. Whatever the thing is inside that view, it will be adjusted according to that one. So that is called the wrap content. Then layout width is there, layout height is there. We have fixed this. Now what we want to create, we want to create the text. What should be written inside the button? So how should we create this? We should create this like Android. Uh, and with this colon and write text. So whatever we should write here, it will be shown in the button only. So we should write here role. Role will be inside that button. Okay. Now what we want is to apply constraints because the button is not fixed in that UI. So we want to get it fixed by applying constraints to it. So how should we apply it? We will write some code here, app colon layout constraint. So first of all, apply one constraint to start off. Let's say this. What layout constraint start off meaning like where it should start and from which thing it should start. Okay, where it should start, the left corner where it should start means like it has two sides, right? Left side and right side. So the left side should start from where? So we want this button to get started with this what should I say? We want this button like here. Here should be the image, and we want this to be here. So we want this under the dice image, right? So let's keep it hold for now. I will tell you later what should we add here. Next, what should we add? Where it should be? Like it should be on at the bottom of that image view. No? So first apply that constraint. So we should apply constraint that it should be at the bottom of the image view. So write that. So have dot layout constraint top to bottom of. We should write this. Means its top, means top to bottom of means its top should be aligned with the bottom of that image ID, because where the image ID will be there, it should be means the top of this button should start at the bottom of that image ID, after the bottom of that image ID. So we have applied this constraint. So we will write the ID of our image view. So image, we will create one image view later. So let's write something for that image view. Let's first of all write the ID, and it will be like image view. Image view. Yeah, this will be the image view. Okay, so we have given this like that its top should be aligned after the bottom of that image view, and we should have to apply one more constant where it's like the end of that button should end where, means the where should the end of this button end, means this part, the ending point of this part should end where. So we will write also for that uh, app layout. And what we will write here, we will write here end to end of. Okay, so when we write this type of thing, start to start out and end to end of, you have to give some thing where it should start. So we will give here parent. we'll give here parent, and here also. So whenever you give both the start to start of and end to end of parameters, parent, the button will be there in between this top, means like we haven't declared the image view, right? So when we declare image view, it will be shifted down. Okay, but for now it is like aligned according to the parent, because we have given these two type of function for it. Okay, so now what we want is to create the image view where the image should be there in the app. So how we will create it? We will create one image view with this. It is there, image view, and we will give the layout width and layout height. So first of all, we should give the ID to it, because everything is an ID. So we'll give an ID to it. What ID we will give? We will give it as an image view. This image view was not declared earlier, so that's why it was written as in the red. So now we want to give the layout width and the layout height of that image view, the dice image. So we will give it manually. We can give it manually. So we should give it like anything. Like we should give it 170 dp, and I have told you like dp is the unit of length in Android Studio. So don't worry. And what is the height of that image view? We can also fix this. We can fix it as 210. Yes, so this is there. Okay, now what we want to apply some constraints. Okay, so before applying the constraints, we should apply some margin between the button and the image view, because if it is like stick to each other, it will not look cool. So we want some margin between the button and the the image view, that is the dice image. So let's add the margin first. How we like add margin? We will write Android, and we should write the margin top here. So it will give some margin to this, and how much margin we can give here? Like we should give here 15 dp. 15 dp margin will be there inside it, and then what we want is to apply the constraints. So we have to fix this image view and the roll button. Roll button is already fixed, but we want to fix this image view. So we have to apply some constraints. So like let's apply this constraints. Dot layout, and first of all we want this image view in the center of the app. So if you want something in the center of the app, you should add all the four types of constraint to parent. Okay, so whenever all the four type of constraints is parent, the thing will be centered in the center of the app. So let's first of all give all the parameters as parent. So first of all we will give bottom to bottom, and then as parent. It's already written here. And then what will we do? We'll give the end to end, and then start to start, and then top to top. All will be parent. App layout, end to end of it will be parent. Same with the start to start of. Parent, and then again top to top of as parent. You can see here the dice image, the roll button is fixed here, and the dice roll image is some distance above the roll button, but it is fixed at the center of the interface. So we have created the image view, we have created the button. So let's close this first, and then we'll see. And one thing we have to fix, like what should be there at the initial phase, like whenever we open the app, then what image should appear at the first look. So we should also add this. So we want like the dice one image to be there when we open the app. So how should we fix that? So we will be fixing that with one function called tools, and uh, there's one argument called src compact or tools src and then compact. And we want there to be like dice one image, so we will fix it as dice one image. So dice one is image a type of drawable. So we will import this from the drawable, and here it is written. So yeah, you can see in your this UI interface that whenever we open the app, that dice one image will be shown at the first look. So we have created the like first look. Now we want to run this app. We have done everything for this app, like uh, we have written all the codes here. So now we want this app to run. So I can run this on like emulator. If there is some error, number of sites is as red. It is red. Uh, this I guess there's nothing error, but it will still see this. Let's run this app. But you have seen this UI, na? So whenever we run this app, it will be shown like this, and the output will be generated like this. When we roll, click on the roll button, the dice will roll, and the output will be generated. So let's run this app first. Uh, you can run this on any device. Maybe you should run this on Pixel 3 device. Let's run this. It will take some time, so you can wait for to that. Some error is there. Let's check it. Where is the error? I guess the same error is of num sites, I guess. Um, num sites. Let's check. Let me check this. What is the problem? Oh, okay. We haven't written this well. This is a type of variable, right? So if you write well, then it will be detect this one as a variable. So we have to write val here. So it will detect the num sites as a variable. So we should run this again. It will get run after some time. So until then, you can ask me some questions because the session is about to over. Because this was the last things that I was going to tell you. So after running this, we will end the session. So if you want to ask doubt, you can ask me. Uh, till then, it can open. The app will be open. Okay, so Ishika has asked return one dot num sites explains. Yeah, so uh, whenever you create one function, right? So it should return some value so that that value can get stored in the variable that we are using in the main function or anywhere else. So whenever the function returns something, it gets stored in the variable. So here we have written one dot num sites. So this one dot num sites represents the range. So one range from 1 to the number of sites there are in the dice. So like if number of sites is equal to 6, no? So it will get a range of 1 to 6, means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is what one dot num sites mean. Once show how to upload images. So how you should upload image? There's another error. Okay. We haven't put this end thing. That was there. Okay, so we should run it again. Next, please show the activity underscore XML. Oh, yeah, it is there. You can see it. The app is ready. Yes, the app is all ready. It is being developed. It is developed only, so you can see it whenever it runs. Because it takes some time to run this, no? Because emulator takes some time to get open. What are the objects in the code we have written? Objects is the like instances of the class. We get the functions and all the things inside the class by creating one object. Through that object, we call the functions of the class. So that's the like main motive of the creating the objects. After fun function, whatever I write will be considered as my next step. The fun function is a keyword. Okay, so fun like it tells the code that one function is being created, and whatever you write after fun, it will be the name of that function, and after that we'll apply the curly braces, and whatever we write code under that curly braces is what is gonna execute when we call that function. Okay. App and layout constraint bottom to bottom of parent. What is the meaning of parent? Parent meanings, the meaning of parent is like the circumference of this layout. Okay, what is the circumference of this layout? It is called the parent. So whenever we like fix start of parent, the thing will start from here. Okay, and when we add like end to end of parent, the thing will get ended here. Like if it should start here and then it will end here, and if we add start to start off, then it would start here and will end like anywhere after this. So if we like add both the parameters to parent, it will be fixed in between of these two. Okay, in this thing what we did in the roll button, we fixed start to start off and end to end off to parent, and we give one additional parameter to be in the bottom of this image resource. So that's why it is here. Okay, I'm asking about what are the names of objects you have created. We have created the dice first of all we created the dice object in the main activity. So whatever the dice, whenever the dice is rolled, it gets stored in the dice roll object, because no, this dice is the object we have created. So that class, so this dice is the object and this dice roll is the variable. And we get this, whenever we roll the app, we get some output, and it gets stored in the dice roll variable. But the object here is the dice. Yes. Yeah. So if you are running like your PC, then you can see in your PC also like how it the app is looking like. The emulator is opening. Any more doubts? You can ask me, or you can ask me anytime. You can ping me on LinkedIn. Uh, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can ask doubts to me on LinkedIn. I will definitely gonna answer your queries. I guess no one have any more doubt. Okay. Can someone from the team share my LinkedIn ID here in the chat section? Yeah. Harshvardhan, yes, you can ask me. What was dice roll to string? Because every image resource has some content description. It is not same, but every image has some content description there. So what we have to do is to convert it into string, because whenever we write directly to your app, no, so it is in the form of the hard coded string. So when if you didn't convert it into the string, what will happen whenever you like translate your app into another language, no? So what will be happen, it will be very difficult at that moment. So whatever we write, it should not be in the hard coded string format. It should be in the like string resource format. There should be your string in the string.xml file. You can find a string.xml file here also. So that's the use of that to string. The app is opening. I think it will take some time. You can use any image format. Yes, you can use any image. It's upon you. Because I guess Android Studio supports all type of image formats. Every image is a string description. No, it's yes, you can say it is in the form of string. It has some content description. So I guess nobody has any more doubts. So if you guys want to leave the session, you can leave. Otherwise, you can wait to like get this app started. I have seen, I've shown you the video of how the app works. It will still work like that only. So if you want to like continue in the session, you can. But if you want to leave, if you have some works, so you can leave. Uh, Otherwise, you can wait and wait until the emulator starts and the app works. Okay, so we have not created any APK file. How we will be run it on Android device? So in like this Android Studio, there is an option called Tools. So go to that Tools option, and there will be an option of APK, like create an APK file. So click on that option, and then one APK file will be downloaded to your PC. And then you should deliver it to your Android device, and you can install it there. No problem. You can, yeah, you can see in this screen that the app is created, and you can see the roll button is also there. Let's click on this roll button. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see in the screen whenever I like click on the roll button, the dice gets rolled. There are some changes in the app. Yeah, you can see in the screen the dice is changing. The dice is rolling. 6, 5, and any random number is generated because we have randomized the number, we have randomized the output. So the random number is being generated. So that was all. We have developed the dice roller app. You can find this code on like the way all the codes are being uploaded there in the Android Study Jams units, the tracks. You can, I have provided you the link yesterday also, so you can find there, and that's all. So let's close this. So thank you guys